Hello everybody, Charlie Gipple here with the Retirement Academy. This video is going to be fun. This video is talking about a great concept called the annuity ladder. This concept is in your flip book that you can use with clients. Before we go into the annuity ladder, I want to talk about risk tolerance and really what multi-year guarantee annuities do. And by multi-year guarantee annuities, I mean like a 3-year annuity paying 2.4%. The client takes their money and walks at the end. A 5-year annuity paying 3%. They take their money and walk at the end. What do multi-year guarantee annuities address? Well, they address really this risk return spectrum, right? They, as well as fixed index annuities, and it's the concern of, well, Charlie, I want to retire 2 years from now, but I don't want to lose 20% in the stock market. Yes, I could get I have the possibility of getting good growth, but I can't lose 20% of my money. Well, conversely, Charlie, on the other side, if I put my money into cash or CDs, by the way, the average 5-year certificate of deposit today is yielding 34 basis points, average 5-year, FDIC.gov. Check it out. So, Charlie, if I put my money on the right-hand side, I'm losing money there as well. That's a guaranteed loss after inflation. So where can I put my money to where I can be guaranteed a decent rate, not lose 20%, while at the same time have that, decent rate be higher than a 34 basis point certificate of deposit? Well, this is where fixed annuities come into play, which is what I'm going to talk about. This is where fixed index annuities come into play, which I talk about a lot elsewhere, not a topic of conversation today. But a fixed annuity or a multi-year guarantee annuity is quite simply, hey, you put money in this 3-year annuity and you get a guarantee of, say, 2.4%, which is one of my favorite ones today. 2.4% guaranteed for 3 years. Take your money and walk at the end. Or 5 years, you get 3%. Take your money and walk at the end of that 5-year period of time. That's where multi-year guarantee fixed annuities can come into play. But that's not it, because this is where we enter the conversation of annuity ladders. So one may say, okay, so I'm a little torn. I'm torn because, yes, I understand that if I go out 5 years on a multi-year guarantee annuity, I'm going to get a higher interest rate than, say, a 2-year multi-year guarantee annuity. But yet at the same time, I sacrifice liquidity, right? Because with my $60,000, if I dump it all into a 5-year multi-year guarantee annuity, well, what if interest rates increase a year from now? What if I need to buy a car a year from now? So it's kind of a give and take. Well, a lot like a lot of things in life, right? It's a give and take. That's what the annuity ladder addresses, is hey, in order to have annual liquidity, you don't have to go into a 1-year product, whether it's a savings account or CD or what have you, that's yielding only 1%. You don't have to dump all your money into that 1-year product in order to maintain annual liquidity, right? You can actually go out, say, 3 years or 5 years in time, get those higher interest rates associated with longer durations, while at the same time maintaining annual liquidity should interest rates increase and you want to reinvest at those higher rates, right? Or should you need to buy a car? How do you have your cake and eat it too? This is where the annuity ladder, the multi-year guarantee annuity ladder, comes into play. So let's talk about this. So today, Mrs. Client, here's what I would propose. This is really one of those kind of have your cake and eat it too situations, right? So here's what I would suggest. Let's pick a duration, say 3 years, for example. And over that 3-year period of time, what we will do is we will basically rotate out annuities. We'll buy annuities and rotate them out. So let me explain. So today we're going to buy a 1-year product, most likely a savings account. However, CG Financial Group does have 1-year annuities that we can talk with you about, just kind of hot off the press. I don't know a ton about them yet, but I just got notification that there are options out here that I will be sharing with the field force. But 1 year, whether it's a savings account or an annuity, 1% is, a pretty generous rate, but let's say it's 1%. 2-year annuity around 2.25%. Yes, we have this annuity depending on what state you're in. And then the other $20,000 chunk of money, we're assuming $60,000 total, let's put into a 3-year multi-year guarantee annuity. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and we'll split it evenly. What happens is your overall portfolio yield is not 1%, right? No, because you have these higher rates, what it all blends out to is a 2.08% return. 1 year goes by, and what happens? Well, what happens is that 1 year that comes due, and that is now worth $20,200, not $20,000. It grew by 1%, right? So do you need that car? Do you need to put a down payment on that car or a house or what have you? Or do you want to reinvest it, which could possibly be at higher interest rates, right? Here we're assuming that the 3-year annuity is still at 3%. So we're actually assuming interest rates don't increase here. Well, what does that do when they put their $20,200 back into? So what they've done here is they've taken their $20,000 that was in the 1 year in that first year. And at the end of the first year, as that 1 year comes due, they replace it with not a 1 year, but a 3 year. And by doing this, you will see by this annuity ladder, we will see as we go up each rung of the ladder through time that they will still have that annual liquidity. And by the way, what is now the blended portfolio rate by going into 3% and getting rid of that 1%? By the way, no surrender charges were paid here, right? You have 1/3 of your money that's liquid at the end of that first year. Well, what's happened here is 2.75 is now the blended portfolio rate going forward. So you go to the end of year 2. And what you've had here is this dollar amount down here that only had 1 year left. Well, up into the blue section 2 years from now, that comes due. So what do? Again, we rotate out that chunk of money, which has then become $20,910, and we replace that again with another 3 year. And I would be willing to bet that 3-year multi-year guarantee annuities 2 years from now are probably going to be paying more than 3%. But let's just stick with what we have, what we know today, right? So what has happened, because we've rotated out those shorter duration products and have maintained still that annual liquidity and will continue to maintain that annual liquidity going forward off into perpetuity, even though we've done that, what have we done? We've blended out our portfolio rate to 3% instead of, if you had just said, yeah, I just want to go a year at a time because I want that annual liquidity. So let's just do all $60,000 into that 1% product and just continue to roll that over year by year by year by year. Well, I will tell you, versus the going all in with the 1 year rate versus doing the annuity ladder, the first way you would be harming yourself from a return standpoint, right? The second way, which is the annuity ladder, is really a situation where you've kind of had your cake and eat it too, right? Why is that? Because you've gotten the higher interest rate while at the same time you've maintained that liquidity. By the way, we at CG Financial Group, we've created websites that show this annuity ladder on them, landing pages that show this annuity ladder on them, to where consumers can go to that web page and not just see the annuity ladder, by the way, not just see the annuity ladder, but also actually see what the rates are on the annuity offerings that are available to them. So very cool. These websites are getting hits because people are marketing via Facebook to those websites. And I can show you samples of those websites if you'd like me to show them to you. And also, those websites can also show the risk tolerance spectrum that I talked about here. Thank you, folks, and have a good day. That's the video on the annuity ladder.